Hello and welcome to Shift the Field TV. I'm Darla LeDoux. I'm the founder of Sourced and your host today. We're going to talk how to integrate all the parts of yourself from a business perspective. If you're a coach or consultant, creative or healer, or someone transitioning into a service-based business from another profession and you think that part of me isn't useful here, I'm going to leave it behind. Let's talk about that. I have 3 tips today. So whether you're the type of person with a bunch of different modalities you're trained in, and you're currently offering individual sessions in a specific modality, but you're not really bringing them together and you think maybe you could. Like I said, if you have that other professional background and you've become trained as a coach or a healer and you think that former background isn't useful anymore, this is also for you. Tip number 1 on how to integrate all parts of yourself. You have made 0 mistakes. That's tip number 1. You've made no mistakes. Every part of your journey was important to get you where you are. I personally became a chemical engineer because my math teacher said I was good at math and science, so I should be an engineer. And I wanted to pick the hardest type of engineering I could. And there I went off to engineering school. I was really out to prove something. I took a variety of trainings after I left corporate, including Reiki training. For example, one of my very first trainings was as a Reiki practitioner. Now, I never became a Reiki practitioner, but today, when I really use my most potent work, I know I'm moving energy and I have an understanding of that and an attunement of that because of that training, even though I never did it. I started my business as a career coach because the only thing I knew is I had left my engineering career and I thought I could help people with that. But really, I thought all of that corporate stuff, that engineering stuff, everything I learned there was the past and it was the wrong career path and I should leave it behind. And I was in business about a year when I started to realize that those skills I had of understanding marketing and product development and how to craft an offer that people want to buy, how to lead a project, all of those things actually could be really, really helpful in my new body of work. And so I began to incorporate those in. Now, I have a client that I'm thinking of who used to be an art critic. Today, she's a writing coach and she helps people who are working on their memoirs, among other things. You know, it seemed like this art thing was an old life, really not relevant. Sure, she learned how to write there, but there was really nothing she could do to bring that forward. And in fact, that was a mistake, right? Like as she grew as an art critic, she started to realize most of the critiques were all made up and based on trends and popularity contests and all of these things. And she kind of had a bad taste in her mouth about the whole world of it, right? Well, now in her writing retreats, she actually incorporates art into the experience because the love of art was real. Not only that, but her experience as a critic and understanding the world of that really helps her as she works with her clients to tame their inner critic and write the work that really wants to be written. Tip number 2, walk a transformational path. The fastest way to see how all of our skills and gifts can come together is to practice our own transformation first. Here at Sourced, when we train our leaders, we always start with their transformation first. Transformation is creating a new awareness that permanently shifts how we show up and interact with life. For example, our own beliefs and judgments about what we can and can't be, maybe what we learned a skill for and what it's not used for, or the siloed way we learned certain things, our beliefs about that is the only thing that keeps us from being integrated and becoming whole as leaders. Every time we shift a belief or what we call a default energy pattern that's blocking your acceptance of who you are, you become more of who you came here to be. I became an engineer because I thought I had to be smart to get love. And so becoming a coach did not feel like the smartest career path. In fact, it felt like I wouldn't prove anything by becoming a life coach. And so I blocked it for a really long time, even though I had the natural skills. One of my clients, she trained as a lawyer because that was a career that really made sense, right? That her father would approve of, that was smart and logical, and that she knew she could do and handle. But as a kid, she was a dancer, and she would dance around the house in her tutu and just be really expressive until she started to get shut down around that. And her dad said, come on, be serious. You can't be a dancer. You've got to, take a different career path. And she really shut that down. Now, when we were working together, one of the things we discovered is within her human design, which is a tool we use for our clients, her top gift in her human design is all about the physical body and embodiment. It was like, even though she learned that at first, until we shifted her energy around that and gave that judgment back to her dad and her lineage and gave her some freedom to be, that she could see, oh my gosh, everything I want to do in my live retreats in person is physical and embodied. And she could start to own that as a real differentiator in her brand. Tip number 3, my favorite, create space for your magic. Create space for your magic. So a core feature of my work is something we call the sourced magic. It's the way source energy wants to work with and through you to serve your purpose here. If you have a lot of different experiences that you want to bring together, sometimes it can be challenging for the mind to figure that out. In fact, I see people all the time in figure out mode, and it's really, really challenging. Whereas your magic is not in your mind. Your mind plays a role, but it's really not here. Let me give you an example. We worked with a client who had a bunch of different modalities that she used in her work. And I don't even want to say her coaching work or her healing work because she had them so separate. So she was trained in EFT, emotional freedom technique, which is a brilliant coaching tool. She was trained in Reiki and sound healing, as well as something called the emotion code. And so she had these different modalities, and each one was listed on her website as a type of session that a client could choose. And they could choose the session, pay whatever she thought that particular modality was worth based on looking at the market. After learning about her magic, everything changed. So here's the thing, when you're trying to figure it out, we can get stuck, right? And not know, well, do I do Reiki first, or do I do sound healing first? Or how do I talk about these different things? I don't want to overwhelm my clients. When we have something else to focus on that's outside of the modalities that calls forth the highest version of us, and we move toward that, all of these things start to come into place. So this client was primary vibration magician. By the way, if you want to learn your magic, below this video, you can find the link. As she began practicing her vibration magic in her own life in little ways, in her own decisions, she started to see how all of the modalities that she had learned were actually connected to helping someone elevate their vibration. So then she started to see, if I give myself the freedom to bring all these together under the idea that I am helping someone elevate their vibration, then I can choose what tools in my toolkit work. Now, here's the thing. For the most part, unless your market is really advanced, raising your vibration is not good marketing. But raising someone's vibration will help them get results in all areas of their life. So now all she had to choose is, who do I want to work with, and what problem or problems do I want to specialize in solving? And then I can bring my magic, right? The solution is raising your vibration. Whatever the problem is, that's the solution. And then she can use the different tools to help them get there. So can you see how that starts to shift and integrate all of the gifts? Not only that, but now she's a category of one. She's the only person with her unique combination of gifts. And so depending on who her audience is and the problem she solves, she can charge whatever she wants, right? That's the beauty of integrating all of yourself. As I brought in my corporate background and my marketing skills and project management, the value of what I could offer was so much better than when I was just selling hourly life coaching. Integrating all of who you are is going to make you better and more potent. And the key to all of this, like I said, my favorite is understanding your sourced magic. In fact, your sourced magic probably at some level guided you to get all these different experiences so that you could be a unique category of one in your market. The quiz, again, is below this video. I'm Darla LeDoux, founder of Sourced. I'd love to hear what you took away from this conversation. Please leave a comment. I'd love to see it. And like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to bring the different parts of themselves together in this stage of their journey.